It's Monday, February 5th, 2024. Let's talk about the news. From Reuters, forest fires kill 51 in Chile and menace urban areas. At least 51 people have been confirmed killed by a wave of fires across Chile, some of which are saddling up to densely populated regions and popular tourist areas. The Valparaíso metropolitan region, which is the second largest in terms of population in the country and located about midway down the length of Chile, is being especially threatened by wildfires right now, and the coastal city of Vina del Mar has already been hit hard. Wildfires are common in Chile this time of year, but this year's wave is hitting closer to highly populated and developed areas than usual, making them more dangerous and destructive. From the Wall Street Journal, U.S. strikes steer clear of Iran's red lines. U.S. forces launched retaliatory airstrikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen over the weekend, following a separate set of airstrikes on Iranian paramilitary forces and militia groups that are financially and militarily supported by Iran's government, hitting more than 85 targets across Syria and Iraq. The targets in that earlier array of strikes reportedly included intelligence centers, storage facilities for missiles, rockets, and drones, and command and control centers, and Iranian officials are not thrilled about this, and they've issued new warnings about certain potential targets that should not be messed with, the implication being that doing so would trigger a counter-attack. But it would seem, so far at least, that the targets selected did not cross red lines drawn by the Iranian government, which could serve as a warning, but also prevent a cycle of escalation that might otherwise further inflame conflict in the region. And from the New York Times, Senegal's president calls off a national election. His critics call it a coup. President of Senegal, Macky Sall, has announced the cancellation of a national election that was scheduled for about 3 weeks from now, sparking accusations of a coup from his opposition. The ostensible reason for this cancellation is that there's a dispute between the legislative and judicial arms of the government that must be resolved before an election can take place. Opposition leaders have called this a manufactured crisis meant to allow the president to avoid being challenged at the polls, and the dispute is over whether citizens with dual citizenship should be able to hold office. One would-be candidate was kept from running on this basis. He accused 2 judges of corruption following that decision, and it would seem that this is the president's justification for delaying the election indefinitely, though there are also questions about the constitutionality of the president's own candidacy. So it's generally assumed that while there may be some legal issues to sort out here, this is also probably at least partially a self-serving decision. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.